Ryan, what's up, fam?
Not too much, Alec. How you doing?
Good. Welcome to the Playbook Podcast. Excited to learn more about yourself and just some of the game-changing practices and products you're using. But why don't you kick things off with giving the audience a quick background on, where you're from, where your fitness journey began, and yeah, go ahead.
Cool. Thanks, Alec. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me. So I am from New Jersey. I now live in Los Angeles. I'm a personal trainer and a strength and conditioning coach. I was an ice hockey player my whole life. I played Division One at Northeastern University. And then I
Okay.
played 1 year off and on in the minor leagues before deciding to pursue a career in fitness here in LA. So I started out, my first job was at Rumble Boxing. I was working at the front desk while training clients on the side, just trying to build up my clientele. And then the pandemic happened, so I shifted a little bit or mostly virtual for a while until people started feeling more comfortable having me come to see them outside in the park or in their homes. And then as things were starting to open back up, I got my first big job at Dog Pound, which is a private personal training gym here in West Hollywood. It started in New York. And I spent 2 years there gaining an unbelievable amount of experience, building my network and just getting tons of hours in on the floor, just learning a ton. I also furthered my education. I got my corrective exercise specialist certification. And then just this past January, I became a certified strength and conditioning specialist, which is
Congrats.
pretty
Let's
much
go.
yeah, thank you. It's pretty big in the industry for those who are looking to help advance the careers of athletes,
Yeah. So what
whether
do we? Yeah. Expand on that. So what exactly does that certification mean?
so essentially certified strength and conditioning specialist is it's not necessarily a requirement, but it's pretty much a baseline of education for the methods to prepare athletes through different phases of the season,
Okay.
postseason, and off season. So you kind of not kind of you fully learn how to break their year into different segments based on the training goals. So during the season, one method of training, mostly low volume, keeping the power high, keeping them feeling good and explosive. Then you deload big time after the season, and the first phase after that in the off season is rebuilding some muscular endurance, building some strength back up, and as you get closer to the season, you're going to want to start building like max strength, power, explosiveness. To make it short, you start from building a foundation in the off season to building strength and hypertrophy to right before the season you want them feeling explosive, doing low reps and loads that they can move quickly.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's like there's like some sort of foundation, and then depending upon the sport or the competition, that's where the exercises kind of differ, but the foundation is kind of still the same. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely. The further away from the season, you're not doing anything that's very sports specific. You start moving into sports specific closer to the season. That's a great point that you bring up. Yeah.
Perfect, man. Well, yeah, keep going on. Just kind of like so, you mentioned, from New Jersey, kind of started off at Rumble, made your way to Dog Pound, and then kind of what's current.
Yeah, so I spent 2 years at Dog Pound and decided it was time for me to take the show on the road. I became fully independent, opened my own business, and now I don't have my own facility, but I do take my clients to some private training facilities in the area, West Hollywood, Beverly Hills, Brentwood, as well as doing some house calls. But I also work with a high school lacrosse team,
Oh,
Pacific
cool.
Palisades. So that's the first gig I got in the sports world, and hoping to continue with them this next season, and then expand into other sports. Lacrosse and hockey have a lot of similarities in terms of being a lot of rotational strength.
Mm.
The conditioning is fairly similar. So some of my prior knowledge translates, but I'm very interested in moving into all different sports and working with athletes in different phases.
Yeah, and so you said you grew up playing hockey. Any other sports?
I played baseball competitively until I was probably like 13 or 14, and then I had to make a decision. It was, either I played spring hockey or I played fall ball. And
Sure.
I was more into hockey at the time, and that's the direction I chose. I still do love baseball. I play basketball for fun. I've picked up tennis here and there.
Yeah, I
I
was gonna
really
say,
just
you into
like to.
pickleball yet? You in the pickleball?
I've played pickleball a couple times, but I haven't fully got into it yet. I think if I was choosing between pickleball and tennis, I would still pick tennis.
Yeah, man. I'm definitely on the pickleball train, but I mean, I like all sports. I was similar to, having to choose in high school. I chose soccer over football, and
Yeah,
then I'll kind of soccer fall, and then in the spring ran track. But yeah, man, we can continue kind of moving on. I had
cool.
a question. So, like, who were some of like your, inspirations, whether it be, athletes, creators, artists, entrepreneurs, like during your journey? Who would you say like are your top 2 to 3 people that influenced you the most?
That's a great question. In the fitness space, some people that I look up to are Ben Bruno.
Yep.
He started at a hockey facility in Boston, actually.
Oh,
So he
okay.
had worked with some of my college teammates, and then he moved his business out to LA independently, and he started training a lot of celebrities as well as individual athletes of all different sports in their off season. So if I were to choose a career path that I would like to follow, it's definitely his. He also does create some funny content, instructional videos as well as comedic videos. So
And you said it's Ben Bruno, right?
Ben Bruno, yeah. So his career trajectory is definitely something that I look up to and would like to model. He's got his own small space out of his garage, and he keeps his training method very simple. He doesn't do any of the over the top eccentric stuff that you might see on Instagram just to get eyes. He keeps it true to athletic training, simple movements, progressive overload, and yeah. So I admire his.
Yeah, yeah. I think I've seen some of his content. Love his content. I think he keeps it super clean.
For sure. So just in terms of a career trajectory, I definitely look up to him. But in terms of, content creation, influencers, a lot of my friends really like they motivate me to keep it going with the content. I worked with some amazing trainers at Dog Pound who became some really close friends, and several of them have really exploded on social media. They're super consistent with their posts. They've found their niche, and
Matt Trolley,
eh,
one of them.
Matt Trolley is one of them, exactly. Matt Trolley, Kevin Mejia, Christian Castano, Zay Washington. I mean, I can name all of them. They're all great in their own way, and they all have their own styles. But I admire their commitment to it and their consistency and staying true to their own style.
Yeah, I had Matt on a few weeks ago, so I'll have to compare your guys' flow stacks. We'll see how they line up.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear too. I don't know exactly his, but I would assume that there's some crossover, but then some key differences.
Yeah, man, we'll see, we'll see. But okay, last just to touch, kind of close that door. Any athletes as you were growing up? Any hockey players, baseball players that you were kind of just like, hey, I kind of model just like their. Whether it's like for me, I'm a just LeBron James, put money into my body, but then I'm also like, Kobe Bryant obsessed mindset. I've been reading all these books about like Kobe Bryant and all these different like, right now Zach Progrob's like super popular about writing about obsession, and that's just like what I relate to. Anybody like that sticks out for you?
Yeah, I definitely take bits and pieces from everybody, or not from everybody, but some key figures. Growing up, my favorite hockey player was this guy, Patrick Elias, who, if you're not like a hockey fan, you probably haven't heard of him. I would say he's probably one of the most underrated players to ever play, but I'm from New Jersey and he was a career New Jersey Devil. I wouldn't say our playing styles were very similar, but I looked up to him because he was quietly confident. He wasn't drawing a ton of media attention. He wasn't always a highlight reel guy, but he was a consistent top performer, super humble guy, and I always really looked up to him as a player.
Did you
Playing,
channel some of that last night? I think I saw something on your Instagram story. You guys took home the some sort of championship, right?
we did. We won our men's league summer league championship last night, so I'm a bit tired today. We stuck around for a while celebrating.
Yeah, I was gonna say I appreciate you showing up, but hey, you got the dub, and now we're yeah talking shop.
Yeah, that was huge. I've been with that team for about 2 to 3 years, and their last championship was 5 years ago. So that was a big one for them.
Oh hell yeah!
We had lost in the championship in the fall league, so it was some nice vengeance. But yeah, going from playing competitively at a high level, it is hard to transition into those kinds of leagues for a couple of reasons. It took me a few years to even want to play consistently because when your career ends earlier than you had ever expected it to, you're a little bit, it hurts, and you want to get some time away from it. I'm speaking from my own personal experience, but I think that people will share the same sentiment. It took me a while to want to be there again, and now that I'm a little bit further removed, I've fallen in love with playing again. Like I build my whole week around my Wednesday night games. I know I can't do legs on Wednesday. I gotta have fresh legs. I prepare for the game because even though it's not for anything serious, you're still out there skating pretty hard. And my whole career is my body, so I want to take care of it. And if I'm not doing the right things leading up to the game, I might pull a muscle, and that could actually impact my actual career.
Yeah, that was actually one of my next questions is what does your current schedule look like?
I've been pretty consistent and working out, lifting weights probably 6 days a week. I'm on a push pull legs split, and I do that twice a week with two different push days, two different pull days, and two different leg days.
Okay.
So it's pretty intense in terms of the amount that I'm at the gym, but because I switch up the routine on each of those days, I'm not overloading one specific muscle too much throughout the week.
Sure.
Yeah,
And
and
is there any training for anything or just kind of training for physique right now? Like, do you have any sort of competition coming up?
not training for any sort of competition. I do sometimes think about how that would be nice to have a specific goal in mind, whether it be for like an Ironman or triathlon or something of the sorts. But right now, really, it's mostly just physique training while
Yeah.
also keeping my conditioning up, maintaining my athleticism. I start every workout with athletic movements, jumps, med ball slams, something to keep those fast twitch muscles and
Yeah,
the
dude, we gotta
impact
get you
on
on
it.
the High Rocks train.
I know I've done a couple of my friends, Matt included, did the high rocks. So I had
Yeah.
done a couple workouts with them, and that is intense, dude. Like those, it's a different type of conditioning.
So with Lux, so the box I sent you for Lux on the B2B side, we kind of work with some large sports and fitness organizations, and right now we're powering like their training box. So I'll have to get you one of their training boxes, and yeah, I mean they got Chicago coming up, Dallas is coming up. I know a lot of people are going to Dallas, and then back in LA in December, I believe.
Wow. Yeah. When the last one was coming up, I had the thought it was very last minute, but because I had hopped in a few workouts with Matt and his High Rocks partner, I was like, man, should I just jump into the to the individual and just see where I'm at? But it was a little too last minute, and I was definitely humbled by those workouts. I was like, this is almost like a marathon. You can't just jump into a marathon without training properly for it.
Spot on. Yeah, spot
Hmm.
on. That leads perfectly into another question. What does obviously with you training 6 days a week? What does your current recovery process look like?
Another awesome question. I used to be huge on trying to get in at least either the ice bath or taking cold showers was my main recovery. But to be honest, I've just gotten away from it a little bit. So what I've been
Yeah,
prioritizing truly is my sleep. And I find that even if I'm not doing any of the extra recovery methods like sauna, cold tub, body work, anything of that nature, if I'm making sure that I get in bed and get 8 hours of sleep, I feel good. I think that's probably the most important natural form of recovery.
do you have a specific like cold mattress you use, Whoop, sleep mask, anything particular, or you just get your fucking 8 hours?
All natty, just get the 8 hours. I used to wear the Whoop for a while. What happened with the Whoop for me, it was more of a mental thing. I started wearing it during the pandemic when I didn't have anywhere to be. So my recovery numbers were through the roof. I was getting to sleep early, waking up early on an extremely regimented routine. And then as I started working full time again, I saw my numbers getting terrible. And it's the way the numbers work on the Whoop, as I'm sure you know, is it compares to you and your average. So as I started to see those numbers go down, I would wake up with a bad recovery score, and mentally I would just be mad to start my day.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I need to take some time away from this, but it would be cool to see where I'm at with that again one of these
Yeah,
days.
100%. I think whatever works for you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so we're nearing the end of our podcast where we get into our Flow Stack series where we have our guests share the top practices and products that are helping elevate their game. What is Ryan's current Flow Stack?
First and foremost, I've been taking creatine for, I couldn't even tell you how long, daily. First thing in the morning, 5 grams of creatine in my first bottle of water, and I just down that.
Any specific brand you go to?
Right now, the one that I have is called All Max Essentials. And I don't think that the brand on it matters all that much as long as you're just getting the pure creatine monohydrate and there's nothing else added in it.
Sure.
So, yeah, I've used different brands before, but I'm not like loyal to one specific brand with
Do you
that
fuck with the
product.
gummies at all?
I've never tried the gummies,
Never
but
tried. Okay.
yeah, it seems like it would be a simple way to just get it in. Next, I guess we could go into my vitamins. I do the standard Thorn multivitamin. There's an AM and a PM. I do vitamin D, fish oil, and magnesium.
And all from Thorn.
No, just
Just
the
the AM/PM athlete from Thorn, or is it
that
just
that's
yeah?
yeah, it's just standard. It isn't athlete specific, but I do know Thorn to be an extremely clean brand. Does run a little bit more on the expensive side, so I don't get all of my supplements from them. But I love the AM and PM split for the multivitamins. The fish oil is Nordic Naturals, which
Mm,
I think is probably the most common one. Right now, this is hilarious. This is the most LA thing ever, but my vitamin D and my magnesium are both Erewhon brand.
let's go.
Hell, yeah, got to support the California business. But before I picked up these, I was using a brand called Metagenics. Those were sold at the recovery place that I was going to called Remedy Place. They carry it there, so I bought it from them.
Oh yeah, huge fan of Remedy Place.
Yeah, I was just there the other day for the infrared sauna, and their facility is amazing. Their doctors are amazing, and they've got everything there. Then during my workout, sorry, pre-workout, I'll have a black coffee, depending on the time of the day. If it's a little bit later in the afternoon, I probably won't have the coffee,
Okay.
but I take beta alanine. So if you've ever taken any pre-workouts like C4, beta alanine is the ingredient in there that makes you feel a little bit tingly and almost even a little bit itchy. I'm sure you know the feeling if you've taken it before. Some people hate it. I actually love that, but the purpose of the beta alanine is to regulate and buffer the lactic acid in your muscles. So the idea of it is to help increase muscular endurance. So I love having that itchy, tingly feeling during my workouts without all the added ingredients of some of the pre-workouts on the
Sure. Yeah.
market. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't. I'm not a pre-workout guy. I take no pre-workout. I'm kind of on that that honey and salt train.
I do that too. Yeah.
But I need to send you a new brand I just found. I was talking to the founder last week, and they're taking that honey and salt thing and turning it into an actual pouch for like little pre-workout pouches. It's called Honey Plus. Side note, I'll have to send you some.
Please do. That's genius. I did a leg workout right before we hopped on this podcast, and I had a big tablespoon of honey and sprinkled some sea salt on it.
Dude, this is your new favorite brand. Because they have a like a Sting version, and I think it has the beta alanine in it also.
I, is Sting the name of the brand?
No, oh, so they
Oh,
have like just like they're doing a play on thing with like the whole honeybee thing where they have like they have different
oh,
three different
okay.
versions where they have like a buzz version and then like a Sting version and like their Sting ones kind of they're more like it's got 100 milligrams of caffeine with beta alanine. I bet.
I'm entirely sold. Yeah. Please link me up with this after this.
Yes, 100%. But yeah, continue on your flow stack.
Okay, cool. And then the last thing is intra workout. So during my workout, I'll drink. Right now, I don't have the exact one that I like to get, but it's Perfect Amino,
Okay.
the branched chain amino acids.
Yeah.
They have a version of them that also has electrolytes in it, but
Okay.
it's been harder to find recently. So right now, I just have the Perfect Amino branched chain amino acids. But I love to drink electrolytes while I work out too. So I actually didn't bring it over here, but I do have a different type of electrolyte right now. My favorite one though, if I were to officially put it on my flow stack, would be the Element
Yeah.
packets,
Yeah.
LMNT. Those are the highest in sodium. And
Yeah.
just like we were talking about with the salt and the honey, I really have learned about myself over the years of working out that I need to have salt in my drink while I'm going. Otherwise, I'll probably cramp up or get fatigued earlier.
Do you do any of the salt like testing? Well, like I know the salt patches are popular right now, just to see like what your actual levels are. Do you do any of that?
I haven't yet. I haven't.
Yeah, I haven't either. I'm
Yeah,
curious.
I do want to do that test. I want to do the blood test just to see where like my T levels are at and all that. But I haven't gotten around to making that commitment yet. But
Sweet
I
man.
just yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I just pretty much go off how I feel and what works best for me.
What about gear? You never touched on gear. I see you rocking the ASRV hat. What about like training gear?
Yeah, I didn't pick out any specific items, but almost all of my workout gear is ASRV, House ID, or TLF. I'm wearing a TLF shirt right now,
Oh,
as well
TLF.
as
I don't
the
know if I know that one.
yeah. I don't know much about the company itself, but they've got a solid social media following, and they've reached out before and sent me a few items to try out, and the fit is great. It's comfortable, wicks sweat really well.
And then what's your favorite product from ASRV?
That's tough because I do love this hat, but I have like four pairs of the same short. They're like the 5 inch short, but they have the liner built in. They're a mesh
Okay.
short with the liner built in. I don't know the exact name.
Okay. I think I know which ones you're talking about. If they're in one of their newer collections, like the tech ones.
Yeah, I think it was last season's collection. I haven't got anything from the new collection yet, but I gotta stop by the store in Beverly Hills for sure.
Cool, man. Yeah. Yeah, they're killing it right now. But sweet. Well, this has been awesome, dude. Really appreciate you joining. And where can people find you, whether it be, training or social media?
Yeah, Instagram is Ryan Rosenthal Fitness, and like I said, I'm based in LA. I do sessions all over the area, from Santa Monica over here to Hollywood. So that's where you can see me in person. But Instagram is Ryan Rosenthal Fitness.
Sweet, man. Well, yeah, we'll have to get a workout in person someday soon.
I would love to. Thank you for having
Awesome.
me.
Yeah. Cheers, bro.
Yep.